Ever check your bank account after months of pinching pennies and wonder, wait, didn't I just work my butt off? Where's all my progress? Maybe you stopped eating out. You walked right past those big sales racks. You stuck with the same old shoes even though they were begging for retirement. Vacations? Nope. Fancy gadgets? Nah. All the small stuff, from lattes to streaming subs, you said no out of habit. You did what everyone said you should do. You squirreled away every extra dollar you could. Still, it felt like you were going nowhere. If any of this sounds like your life, keep reading. This isn't one of those get-rich-quick stories. Nobody's winning the lottery or stumbling on a magical investment that doubles your money overnight. Instead, it's about a quieter lesson, one that sneaks up on you and changes the way you look at money for good. This is Evelyn's story. She lived in a small apartment at the ragged edge of a city that never stood still. Every morning, the racket of buses and motorcycles and hurried footsteps rose up before the sun. She liked to start her day with a mug of tea, eyes fixed out the window, tuning into the city's rhythm. Maybe half hoping her own life would finally pick up speed. A year ago, everything felt normal. She had a steady job at an office. The pay wasn't amazing, but it covered her bills, sometimes helped her folks, and left her with a trickle to stash away for later. Nothing flashy, just the basics, but it worked. And then, out of nowhere, it all fell apart. Her company called for layoffs. At first, nobody really believed it. The rumors swirled around in whispers at the copier and nervous conversations over lunch. But everyone wanted to believe things would be fine. It won't hit our team, someone would say. They'll let go of the folks they barely need. Another added, trying to sound sure. Evelyn clung to that hope. She had to. One Friday afternoon, Evelyn got an email. The manager wanted to see her in his office. The meeting barely lasted 10 minutes. Her job was gone. Just like that. She packed everything into a small cardboard box, tried to smile at her coworkers, and walked out, holding back tears until she made it to the bus stop. That night, the city didn't notice anything. Traffic was still ridiculous. Restaurants bubbled with noise. Kids shouted and chased each other in the park. It all looked the same. Only Evelyn's world had flipped upside down. At first, she figured she'd land something new in no time. She polished her resume, fired off applications every morning, went to interviews, and kept telling herself things would turn around soon. But days blurred into weeks. Weeks dragged into months. Every rejection email looked the same. Thank you for your interest. We've decided to move forward with another candidate. We wish you success in your future career. After a while, she didn't even bother reading to the end, vanished way faster than she ever thought possible. Rent, Ha. The power bill, groceries, bus fares. Every payment ate away at her safety net, little by little. Her bank balance kept shrinking each month. When the numbers got really low, Evelyn started picking up freelance gigs online. Some weeks, she scraped by. Other weeks, she barely managed to put food on the table. Life became completely unpredictable. She stopped thinking about the future. Surviving each day took everything she had. But there was one habit she wouldn't let go: saving. No matter how little she earned, she always tucked a bit away before spending anything else. "If I can just save enough," she whispered to herself, "maybe I'll feel safe in past." That meant sacrifices. She patched up old clothes instead of buying new ones. She walked long distances to avoid paying for the bus. She got creative in the kitchen, learning cheap recipes with just a few ingredients. She canceled every subscription that wasn't absolutely necessary. Friends would ask her to join them for dinner. She'd say she couldn't. Family floated the idea of a quick vacation together. She'd smile and say, "Maybe next year." Birthdays passed without gifts. New movies? She waited until they popped up for free online, sometimes years later. But slowly, her savings started to climb again. It wasn't much, but seeing the numbers inch up felt like proof she was clawing her way back. Every time she opened her banking app and saw a bit more, she let herself breathe, just for a moment. "I'm making progress," she'd tell herself. But, of course, life had other ideas. A few months after she moved in, Evelyn's landlord said the rent was going up, then groceries cost more. The electric bill spiked. Bus fares rose. Even the most basic things around the house cost more than they had a few months ago. One evening, Evelyn sat at her kitchen table, notebook in hand, carefully tracking every single expense. She wrote down a number, then erased it. Tried again. Crossed out categories, redid totals. No matter how she shuffled things around, the answer stuck. She was still saving, but even her best efforts couldn't keep up. Prices just kept climbing, faster than she could adjust. The savings she worked so hard for suddenly felt a whole lot smaller. Every paycheck filled the bucket, but there was always a slow leak at the bottom. Her money didn't disappear overnight. She just never seemed to move forward. Realizing that stung more than losing her job, she started to wonder about something she'd always believed. Was saving really enough? One Saturday, you're tired of staring at job boards. Evelyn decided to get out of the house. The community center down the street was organizing a cleanup, painting classrooms, sorting donated books, that kind of thing. She signed up. It was simple, mindless work. Painting walls, moving tables, untangling supplies. For the first time in weeks, she stopped thinking about bills and to-do lists. She just helped. As the sun started sinking, she spotted an older man behind the building. He was alone, quietly fixing battered wooden chairs. Unlike everyone else, he didn't seem rushed. Every move was calm and careful. He measured twice, took his time. Instead of tossing out broken furniture, he patiently brought each piece back to life. Curious, Evelyn walked over. Those chairs looked like they were headed for the dumpster, she said. The man smiled, still focused on his work. Were they? She let out a small laugh. Honestly, they seemed hopeless. He brushed off some sawdust. Most people see damage and think it means useless. She paused, rolling that over in her mind. He wasn't just talking about chairs. I'm Daniel, the man said, reaching out his hand. Evelyn. They worked together for a while. She held boards steady, passed him tools. Watched as he made the broken wood solid again. There was something calming about it. Seeing something so used up become useful. When they packed up, Daniel looked at her and said, "You've been carrying something heavy all afternoon." Evelyn hesitated. Then, before she could talk herself out of it, she told him everything. Losing her job, never-ending job applications, the careful spreadsheet with savings that just couldn't keep up. Daniel listened. He didn't interrupt or try to fix anything. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "Evelyn, what if your money worked as hard as you do? What would your life be like?" Evelyn blinked. "I've never really thought about that. Most people don't," Daniel said, and smiled. On her walk home, those words echoed in her mind. She didn't realize it yet, but that one simple question was about to change her whole life.